You know, if there's a story involving the words punk and drama, it summons Dan Frampton. And there has been some punk drama, so here I am to talk about it. And I knew this was going to take a couple days for all the stuff to kind of come out in reports. You know, I finally think we have sufficient enough stuff to talk about the recent CM Punk drama that happened in London, England at the biggest paid wrestling event in history, okay? CM Punk couldn't keep his mouth shut for a moment. He had to get himself into more hot water during the busiest time of their year, being the biggest star in the company. It's absolutely wild, and I just need to get this off my chest. If you're not really a wrestling fan, then I know that all of this is just gobbledygook right now, but we're going to be getting into it because this is quality drama slop, okay? And this involves a straight edge punk rocker. This is a drama slop channel, so this all works for here, okay? I'm Dan Frampton. This is the Dan Frampton YouTube channel. You know that. You know what it is. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a couple stacks of pancakes down there if you want. We're rounding the bases, all right, to 10,000 subscribers. And I told myself I was going to stop saying the phrase rounding the bases, but for some reason, it just keeps coming out. But anyway, we're getting pretty dang close to 10,000 subscribers, which means we're getting pretty close to me doing a 24-hour live stream. And that's okay. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it will happen. And if you want it to happen quicker, all you got to do is subscribe, because only like 35% of you are actually subscribed to this channel. What are you, ashamed? On to the content. We are going to be talking about CM Punk. Of course we are. More drama, more drama, more drama. What an absolute legend. Okay, this is going to go back a couple weeks. To get the full context of this, you know what I mean? You got to go back over a year, but you know, the devil is in the details, and I'm not talking about MJF, all right? We're just going to be going over this most recent drama, so we got to go back a couple weeks for this. And a couple weeks ago, there's this wrestler, all right? His name is Jungle Jack Perry, and he is apparently friends of the Young Bucks. He was showing up to wrestle on CM Punk's show Collision. You know, this is this live Saturday night show that they got going on that they gave CM Punk kind of creative control over because he's the biggest star and he's like kicking up a storm all the time. So it's his show. Anyway, Jungle Jack Perry shows up to CM Punk's show, and apparently Jungle Jack Perry had approval for this spot that he wanted to do involving real glass on a car window. But when CM Punk heard it, he was like, "Nuh-uh, not on my show, not real glass, too dangerous," all right? The reports came out that CM Punk said that Jack wanted like to miss work or whatever, so he wanted to intentionally hurt himself. But I don't know if that's real. I don't know if any of this is real. This is all just like backstage news, you know what I mean? Gossip, drama, you know what I mean? But it's people talking all over the wrestling world right now about this sort of stuff. Jack Perry wasn't really a big fan of not being able to told that he can't use this glass by Mr. CM Punk. Even though CM Punk is CM Punk, Jack Perry is a big time rich LA fancy boy, okay? And he's gonna have an alright time being like, "Hey, I'm right and you're wrong. I'm big time Hollywood boy," alright? And in this situation, if all this is laid out correctly, I side with CM Punk because yes, this is his show. Real glass can hurt somebody. You don't want that on your watch, you know what I mean? We're not doing that. We're not doing that today. But Jungle Jack thought that was just like, "Hey, I know you, CM Punk. I know this is your show and whatever, but you have like a beef with the Young Bucks, who I'm friends with. So I think you're not letting me do this glass spot because of spite and jealousy or whatever." And you're like, who knows how these people are actually feeling? Weeks happen, weeks go by, then the biggest show, the biggest paid attendance wrestling gate in the history of the business, okay? In the history of this fine sport we call professional wrestling. It was an event called All In London, England, okay? 81,000 some odd people paid, jam-packed into this gigantic soccer stadium. And, you know, everyone was pretty stoked. There was this thing that they called the pre-show. I'm not sure what they called it this time around. Was it the buy-in? Was it like the kickoff? I'm not sure. But anyway, they have like a pre-show type thing, and Jungle Jack Perry had a match. He had actually the last match on this pre-show type thing. and there was a car spot. This car had a glass window. Jack Perry, the spiteful little LA boy that he is, he went over to this glass window, gave it a little tap, 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 and then he looks directly into the camera. He's stirring the pot at this point, okay? This guy is being a dramatic drama goblin. He stares into the camera and he goes, "Real glass, cry me a river," okay? And then he proceeds to get suplexed onto it, all cut up or whatever. And being all cut up would have been the reasons why CM Punk wouldn't have wanted you to do this. But, of course, CM Punk did not enjoy this whatsoever. Now, CM Punk isn't just like some wrestler, you know what I mean? He's paved the way for a lot of guys. He runs one of the biggest shows that they got going. He is their biggest star by a long shot, and he had the first match on the main card. So these guys were going to cross paths in the gorilla position, but I think in AEW they call it the Mongo position. I'm not exactly sure, but you know CM Punk is not shy for confrontation, and he was just kind of mocked on television, so you know that he's going to confront Jungle Jack Perry. And apparently that's exactly what happened. Jack Perry comes through the curtain. CM Punk is like, "Nuh-uh." Apparently there's so many reports, man. Some reports say he choked Jack Perry. Some reports say he pushed Jack Perry. Some reports say that there was like a pie face type thing going on, you know? But nobody actually knows what the actual physical confrontation was, even though the boss of the whole company, Tony Khan, was right there. And apparently his monitors and stuff on his table got all jostled around because of this physical confrontation at work, okay? CM Punk couldn't shut his mouth. Why are you pushing people around at work? If you have a problem with this guy personally, take it to personal time, you know what I mean? But he hasn't learned his lesson about fighting his coworkers. So he's just doing it as if it's a normal thing because he's old school. He's 2002. Back in the day, if I came through the curtain and I said some wreck shit, Raven was there to slap me upside the head. You know what I mean? And he's going into it with that kind of mentality. And I can kind of get it, but apparently this all kind of happened because CM Punk didn't get car service when he flew in to London, okay? AEW didn't arrange a way for their biggest star to get to the venue. Okay, he had to fly in and then what? No car? All right. So he flies into the airport. Nobody's there. He ends up on the subway. All right, the tube as they call it, and he seems to be taking it pretty well. But he gets lost underground, and fans help navigate him to the venue. Imagine that, the biggest star in the company being navigated to the venue by just a bunch of fans wearing his merch. It's the craziest thing. So you know he's just like, "Oh my god, this company, I hate it here. Why don't they care about their biggest star? This is absolutely insane." And then he gets mocked by some young schmuck on television. So he's like, no. I'm going to choke this guy. I'm going to push and pie face this guy as soon as I get the chance. What are you doing, Jungle Jack Perry? So that's what he does. And then he kicks up a storm. He's like, "I'm not going to be wrestling tonight. I'm scheduled in the opener, but you know what? Nuh-uh, I'm out of here." And then Tony Khan is like, "Okay, anyone else want to wrestle the opening match? All right, hey, Young Bucks, are you ready?" They're like, "No, we're not ready. What do you mean?" Then they go, "Kenny Omega, are you ready?" And he's like, "I guess so. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, let's go open this show, guys." And while all that is happening, CM Punk's planned opponent, Samoa Joe, comes in, and he's all like, "Yo, CM Punk, we're cool, right? We've been friends for a long time. We have history. We have all these matches. What are you doing, buddy? We have 80,000 people out there gonna watch a CM Punk Samoa Joe match. 80,000. Imagine back in like 2000, I don't know, 2002, 2003, whenever their ROH feud was, when they were wrestling in front of like 50 people in the smoke-filled bingo hall. You know what I mean? Now they're in front of 81,000, and CM Punk is kicking up a tantrum. Of course, Samoa Joe is like, "I'm not losing this. What are you doing, buddy? Let's go out there and have this little fight." And that's what they do. They go out and have this match. And as all this is going on, CM Punk doesn't really lose his composure. He comes out visibly annoyed, but they have a hell of a match, a hell of an opener. They stay in character. There's no going into business for themselves. It's just like two guys working a good opening match to a gigantic show. It was actually really good, and you really couldn't tell that all that stuff happened. But while that match was happening, these reports were hitting the internet of this physical confrontation that CM Punk just couldn't help help himself from getting into. And while CM Punk is having that match and these reports are coming out, Jack Perry is asked to leave the building, okay? And then it was said that CM Punk was not asked to leave the building. He was very much there, but then it came out that he was asked to leave as well. Security came and got him. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, what's going on? Because Tony Khan, this owner guy, this booker of AEW, he seemed to be showing a whole lot of like CM Punk favoritism, you know? But who knows what's going on in that contract? Who knows what the stipulations are? Who knows how tense these meetings can be between these guys? CM Punk is just operating on his own level with this like gigantic ego that must be hard to rein in. That's gotta be hard to manage. You know what I mean? To Tony's credit, he absolutely no-sold this situation. He went into the press conference after, was like, yeah, there was a situation, don't want to talk about it. What do you want to ask? All right. So he's handling it well, and he's actually learning a lot from his situation that happened last year. So that was all the goings on the day of and everything that was coming out after, you know what I mean? And then the next day, it was said that both of these guys, Jungle Jack Perry and CM Punk, well, they've been suspended. And there's another huge show in just a week called All Out in CM Punk's hometown of Chicago, where CM Punk is very much expected to be there to draw the house and make a happy town, okay? But he's suspended, and there's this investigation going on as to what actually happened. Of course there's an investigation, and there's probably going to be like a lawsuit as well. I think something must have been breached while all of this was happening. But of course, that's just me wildly speculating over here. But CM Punk getting himself into all this right before his hometown huge show, a year after all of that drama that happened last year, you know what I mean? He had a real chance to redeem himself in the hearts and minds of wrestling fans. And it's really a shame because his character work in ring right now is the best ever. His promo work, of course, it's CM Punk. It's unreal. He's the real world's champion. He's got this whole show that he's just running right now. It's called Collision. We're colliders. It's the best time to be a CM Punk fan if it wasn't for all this drama. But if you're a drama piggy like me, you kind of like the drama, but you don't love it because of the uncertainty. What does it mean? Tony Khan thought he was being creative by being like, okay, you can have your own show, and I'll keep you and your friends over here, and the people you hate and everyone that hates you over here. And it didn't really seem like the most mature way to handle it, you know what I mean? The greatest way to mediate it, you know? It was like, okay, you guys hate each other, but stay away. But the two groups of people are going to come together on the big main event shows, you know what I mean? On the big pay-per-views. And the first time that they did, of course, something happened. And during all of this melee, apparently Miro was said to have been like, poking the bear and being angry at CM Punk. But then recently, today actually, more reports coming out that Miro was just joking around. He went to CM Punk in jest and was like, hey buddy, you want to have fight? You know, that kind of thing. And what a 180 from CM Punk's original return. He loved this place. He wanted to champion all the wrestlers. He wanted to just like bring this company to the stratosphere, you know what I mean? And then he starts getting in all this drama, and apparently now he hates the place. Apparently now he just like wants to quit. All of this sort of stuff coming out after the guy who runs the company gave him an entire show, a television program to run. And he's still doing this. The ego on this man is unbelievable. And that's coming from one of the biggest CM Punk supporters to have ever existed. I adore this man's work. And maybe it's not quite as clear-cut as he's the common denominator in all these problems, so he must be the problem. Maybe he has a point, because he seems to have a point, you know what I mean? That glass thing, I'd say the same thing if I was running a show. I don't want that happening on my show. And then getting mocked on television like that by Jack had to have known that was going to escalate things, you know? But maybe he was doing it deliberately because they want to force CM Punk out of the company because Jack Perry and his camp believe CM Punk to be a cancer on the industry. But that's just getting too big-brained and conspiratorial about it. Jack Perry was just being a dick. So all those instances, including having to take the subway to the venue, make me feel that CM Punk was valid in his feelings of frustration and being annoyed. Where the criticism lies is how he handled it and how he continues to handle it. But what makes this a little bit different from last year is the optics of it all because of his leadership position. So as we sit here today, that investigation is still ongoing. I'm really hoping that it's the world's quickest investigation, all right? I really want to see both these guys at All Out in Chicago this coming weekend. But tonight is Dynamite, so I'm going to be tuning into that, of course, to see if there's any fallout. But normally they don't do fallout from this sort of stuff on the television program. Yeah, we'll see. Another day, another CM Punk drama. But I'm going to get out of here right now. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to my channel members. Now, I forgot to put up this graphic yesterday. These are my channel members, all right? Now, if you want to find yourself on this graphic, all you got to do is join the channel. You'll get exclusive uploads of Pit Pros, and today I'm doing an exclusive on my preview of my top 100 albums of 2023. There's some gaps in there. Maybe you'll help me fill them out. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here right now. Thank you so much. See you later.